The election campaign coming to an end. At the end of this day, there's a blackout period. No campaigning whatsoever by any of the candidates until the actual voting takes place on Tuesday. It's been a campaign marked by sporadic incidents of violence, the most recent an attack on a supporter of the opposition candidate, the prominent and most important opposition candidate, and that is General SARATH Fonseca, the military commander of the government's campaign in the field, which ended the war some 7 months ago. Now he's standing against the incumbent president, the man who was in political control at the time of the end of the war. Each of the candidates has been arguing that they were the people, they were the person who brought about peace within this country, a much needed peace after such an extended period of conflict. But at the same time, the 14 million people going to the polls are going to be asking not who made the peace, but more importantly, what are its benefits and which of the leaders can most ensure that those benefits reach the people. A country at peace after decades of war, and among many in Sri Lanka's shimmering green mountains, the bitter conflict fading in memory and rising hopes of better things to come.
With this peace, I hope to get good work harder and have a better life.
A hope shared by the estate manager, proud of the product but aware of the extent to which the war impacted on international sales of the country's most important crop.
Image what the rest of the world had on Sri Lanka was that we were a country where there was a lot of war and conflict, and people are a bit reluctant to buy our tea. But with the war ending, I'm sure this situation will improve.
Prices and sales have been rising. This auction of yet another bumper crop brought forward a few days because of the presidential election taking place on Tuesday. The available selection here for buyers truly staggering. Teas of 24 different grades from 38 different regions, but the choice of the country's nearly 14 million voters in the presidential election is somewhat more limited. There are only two viable candidates: the incumbent president, who was in control at the end of the war, and the general who achieved a military victory in the field. But ultimately, the voters' choice may not depend on who is decided to have done the most to achieve the peace, rather who they believe would be most effective in ensuring its benefit. And on another tea estate, a different point of view, one that has moved past celebrating a peace to asking why lives are not getting better. Karpai has been working as a plucker for 35 years, and despite an economy on the move, she still earns only the equivalent of $2 a day.
No, we are not properly taken care of. We have been asking for better facilities here. The bosses have promised us a lot, but they are yet to keep the promise.
For nearly 3 decades, the winding road of a developing democracy has been diverted and at times obstructed by war. No such excuse now. In the eyes of the electorate, the path cleared of obstruction, and perhaps the impending realization for politicians that the challenges in peace may be even greater than those faced during a war. Mike Hanna, Al Jazeera, Colombo.